My name is Margaret Wilson. I am 63 years old. I live in a small town near Manchester. My husband died 10 years ago. Since then, I have been alone. I have only one daughter. Her name is Emily. Emily moved to Australia after her marriage. She lives there with her husband and one little boy. She has a beautiful life. She sends me pictures of beaches, big houses, and happy family dinners. She always looks happy in those photos. But I live here alone in my old house. Every morning I wake up early. I make tea for myself. I water the small plants in my garden. I sit near the window and watch people going to work. In the afternoon, I cook a simple meal. In the evening, I sit in silence. The house is very quiet. Sometimes the silence feels heavy. Emily calls me once or twice a month. She always says, "Mom, I am very busy. I will come soon." I always say, "It's okay, my dear. Take care of yourself." But after the call ends, I look at her childhood photos and cry. I miss her voice. I miss her laughter in this house. One cold winter evening, someone rang my doorbell. I slowly walked to the door. When I opened it, I saw Emily standing there. I could not believe my eyes. "Emily, is it really you?" I asked. She smiled and hugged me tightly. I started crying. My hands were shaking. I felt like my life had come back to me. She came inside. I made tea. We sat together. I touched her face again and again, just to feel that she was real. I asked about her husband and her son. She told me they were fine. Then she looked at me and said, "Mom, I came to take you with me." I was silent. She said, "You live here alone. I worry about you. In Australia, you will have your own room. You will see your grandson every day. You will not be lonely anymore." My heart was happy, but my mind was confused. I said, "This house is my life. I got married here. Your father lived here. I cannot leave this place." Emily held my hands and said, "Mom, home is not a building. Home is where your family is." That night, I could not sleep. I walked from room to room. Every wall had memories. Every corner had a story. But my daughter was my only family. The next morning, she said, "Mom, we should sell this house. You don't need it anymore. Start a new life with us." I looked at her face. I saw love in her eyes. I trusted her. I said yes. We sold the house. I packed my bags. I kept only some clothes and old photos. I left everything else behind. We reached the airport. I was nervous but also excited. I thought my lonely life was ending. At the airport, Emily said, "Mom, sit here. I will get the boarding passes." I nodded. I waited. 10 minutes passed. She did not come. 20 minutes passed. I started feeling worried. 30 minutes passed. My heart began to beat fast. I looked around again and again, but Emily was not there. After 1 hour, a young woman came to me. She was an airport staff member. She said, "Ma'am, are you okay?" I told her everything. I showed her Emily's photo. I showed my ticket. The woman looked shocked. She said, "Please come with me." We went to the office. She checked the computer. Then she looked at me with tears in her eyes. She said softly, "Ma'am, your daughter canceled your ticket. She boarded the flight alone." My world stopped. I felt like the ground disappeared under my feet. I said, "No, she would never do that. She loves me." But it was true. She had gone. She had taken all the money from the house. She left me alone. I cried like a child. I cried for hours. The young woman stayed with me. Her name was Sophie. She held my hand and said, "Sometimes strangers give more love than family." She took me to her home. Her parents were kind. They welcomed me with open hearts. They gave me food. They gave me respect. They gave me a place to live. Days turned into months. I slowly healed. I started smiling again. I helped in the kitchen. I told stories to their children. They called me Grandma. One day, Sophie came to me and said, "We want you to stay with us forever. You are part of our family now." My eyes filled with tears. I said, "I lost a daughter, but I found a family. Now I understand something very important. Blood does not always make a family. Love does. If you were in my place, what would you do? Tell me in the comments below. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe.